This is exactly what we've been waiting for. Daniil Tarasov has been showing up in his last few games. I'll go over his numbers and how we're going to lean on him more so as the season goes on, and look at the schedule ahead that has some people a little bit worried, as well as look at tonight's game against the Minnesota Wild and Kirill Kaprizov. Man, it's going to be a good one. They have been playing great hockey. Guys, thank you for joining me on this episode of Panthers Digest. I'm your host, Greg Andrews. No time to waste in this one. Daniil Tarasov has been fantastic in his last 4 starts. He has gone 3-1 in those starts. I am just going to look at the last 3 games, which are all W's against some pretty decent competition. Last win against Winnipeg, obviously not the high level of competition that it was going in against Washington, let alone Colorado, which were also W's. But in those 3 games, like I said, Daniil Tarasov has been fantastic. These are his numbers on the season. He's 7-6-2 overall with a 2.63 goals against average and a 906 save percentage. Guys, he's so young. He's only 26, and I know a lot of you guys have been calling for Bob's head, saying he's been terrible this season, all in that. Well, guess what? You're probably going to get your wish of having Tarasov play considerably more games than Bob. He might need a little bit of that rest. When they put Daniil Tarasov in for 2 games in a row or 3 games in a row, gave Bob the rest, he came back and was playing a little bit better. So you guys might get your wish there, but be careful what you wish for. Anyways, as we keep rolling, in the month of January, the good news is in 2026, he is 3-0. He doesn't have a loss on his record. Squeaky clean. You can see here, goals against average. Before I get into the rest of the Panthers news, this video is brought to you by Kalshi. Download Kalshi using the link in the description below and enter this code DIGESTNHL. You get $20 when you trade your first 100. Kalshi is the largest prediction market in the United States, and the best part is, if you live in California, Texas, or right here in Florida, it is live in all 50 states, guys. That's right. And for you sports fans out there, it's not just about trading on game outcomes, player performances, or playoff chances. There's more than one way in one single game that you can trade. You can do it on assists, goals, rebounds, touchdowns, points, anything, all on a regulated market and cash out whenever you want, guys. Hey, I still like the Panthers' chances to win the Atlantic Division. If I trade $50 for them to win, and they do, I make over $700 when I cash out. As for the Super Bowl, I like the Rams' chances to win. If I trade $100 for them to win, I cash out with over $350. So, if you guys are big buffs for sports and news and you got a big brain for it, this is a great way for you to use that knowledge. You can close out your positions whenever you want. So download Kalshi using the link below and put this code in there, Digest NHL, and you get a $20 bonus. I'd like to thank Kalshi for sponsoring this video. Right now in his last 3 games, 1.30, save percentage at 943. He has been fantastic. Like I said, got the shootout win the other night, got a lot of help defensively in the shootout. I mean, I think his positioning was great, and that's one of the reasons why the Jets just didn't really get a shot on net. They shot it wide, they shot it over, and it allowed the door to swing wide open for the Cats to win, who have a lot more experience in shootouts, and I think the talent there for going, pretty much breakaway opportunities or those shootout opportunities, bigger advantage for us. But take a look at the win against Colorado. Let's relive those numbers, guys. He stopped 27 of 28 shots, a 964 save percentage, only allowed 1 goal, held his own at the end of that game, and got us a gigantic 2 points against the best team in the league, guys. So he has been playing great. I'm sure we're going to see a lot more of him with 33 games left to play in the season. Obviously, I do not know who's going to be in net tonight. Maybe it will be Tarasov. We're going to take a look at that in just a moment, but let's keep rolling ahead here. These are his projected numbers in the bottom there. 12 wins, 10 losses, 3 overtime losses, a 2.63 goals against average, 906. They obviously don't change that right now, but I think his wins are going to be a little bit higher than that. He's been on point. The defense is getting better. We're getting healthier. I think he's going to be playing better, and I don't think he's going to play only 27 games. With 33 left to play in the regular season, and he's already played 16, he's not going to play 11 more games. I think he's going to play closer to probably 15 to 18 more games, and that number is going to shift up probably somewhere to between 32 to 35 games on the season, especially if he's playing pretty well. Obviously, if they're losing 2-1 or 3-2, something like that, you can't put it solely on Tarasov's shoulders. But he's been playing great, so I'm not going to take anything away from him. I look forward to seeing him more in net and giving Bob a little bit more time to recover, rest, get his head straight. I mean, we've seen some blunders here and there, but also defensively, we've had games where we're not there. I mean, the shellacking against the Hurricanes, you saw, we just gave up. We didn't show up. That game was just like we were just thrown in the garbage can the minute we stepped on the ice. So again, don't hold things against Bob. He's made some unbelievable saves, but right now, I think we should ride with Tarasov, and hopefully they do give Bob some time to recover. So let's keep rocking and rolling here, guys. So the schedule, one of the hardest things for the Florida Panthers. A few weeks ago, an insider came out and said, well, they have one of the easiest strength of schedules that remains. Well, that's changed. The Eastern Conference is the most competitive conference between the two right now. We all know that. The Cats are 5 points out of the wild card right now, and then there's about 4 teams in between them, that last wild card spot, that are also 1 point out, 2 points out, 3 points out. Our schedule is so tough when you want to look at the competition. I'm gonna give you guys these numbers right now, and try to stick with me here. So what makes this really challenging, these are the games that remain up until the Olympic break. Right off the bat, tonight and tomorrow, you've got back-to-backs. And that's one thing that the Cats have that's really tough compared to other teams. They've got 2 back-to-backs from now until the Olympic break. You've seen the beginning and right at the end. Well, when we come back from Olympic break, we start off with a back-to-back, and then we still have 4 other back-to-backs that remain in the 25 games that we have left to play after the Olympic break. 3 of those back-to-back games happen in the month of March alone. We have 25 games in 48 days. So this is what remains before. Like I said, those last 3 games are going to be huge for us because they're all against, I would say the 2 biggest ones, Buffalo, Boston, are teams that are in the wild card spots right now. We need those 2 points because obviously if we beat those teams, that's an L for them. They don't pick up the 2. We make up some ground, but we also need those 2 teams to start losing a little bit more. The bad news is when we have been winning, these other teams have been winning or getting an overtime loss or shootout loss, so they've been picking up a point. Kind of hurts us. But there is room to make up here. Minnesota is going to be a tough one tonight. We could beat Chicago in Chicago. Utah, they're in the playoffs right now as things sit, but we could win that one at home. St. Louis should be a winner, but they gave us a shellacking earlier this season. And then those last 3 games are all against Eastern Conference opponents. Tough ones. Hopefully we can get the W like we did against Buffalo. Boston's been surging lately. Tampa's been unbelievable. So a lot of things have to happen, guys. So this is what I wanted to show you guys. Can the Cats claw their way in with 33 games remaining? This is the big thing I wanted people to really understand. Versus teams that are currently in the playoffs, seeds 1 through 3 in the Atlantic Division, or just in those top 6 seeds, and then the 2 wild card spots. We have 16 games remaining versus teams that are in the playoffs right now or the wild card in the Eastern Conference. 9 on the road, 7 at home, and then we have 4 games against Western Conference opponents that are either in the playoffs currently or in wild card standing, 2 on the road and 2 at home. Then on the right side, those are the teams that are out. We've got 6 against Eastern Conference teams. I don't know why it says V there. I apologize for that. 3 on the road, 3 at home, so we could split that against the teams that are in the thick of it, but in the running. And those are the teams we have to make sure that we beat. And then we have 7 teams versus Western Conference, 7 games against Western Conference teams that are outside of the wild card right now, looking in 5 on the road, 2 at home. And you can see the remaining games against teams in the Eastern Conference wild card hunt right now. You can see right there, I don't need to list them off. We've got 1 game against Montreal, 2 against the Islanders, 2 against Pittsburgh, 2 against Buffalo, 2 against Boston, 1 against New Jersey, and 1 against Ottawa. All big games that we need to win, guys. Huge, huge, huge opportunities for us. I think we're going to have a humongous chance to creep up into that last wildcard spot. As of now, we are currently out of it. If I wanted to tally up all the points and say, okay, 82-game season's done, we're going to be out by about 4 to 6 points. But let's keep going. There's no rest for the weary. Like I said, after the Olympic break, 25 games in 48 days. 10 at home, 15 away. 5 times. And right off the bat, after the Olympic break is done at the end of February, I believe it's the 25th, is our first game. We have back-to-backs right off the bat. And then We have 4 more times after that we have back-to-backs. I already said 3 times in March, which it's a lot of hockey, guys. That is an insane amount of hockey to be playing. I'll put it this way. After the break, the 25 games, it says we have Toronto and Buffalo on the 26th and 27th of February. Then in March, the 5th and 6th, Colorado, Detroit, another really bad back-to-back that's going to be tough. The 19th and 20th of March, Edmonton and Calgary. The 28th and 29th of March, New York Islanders, New York Rangers. And then in April, the 4th to the 5th, we have Pitt back-to-back home and away. So that's going to be tough. And you can see we have 2 times, we have 4-game road trips and 1 5-game road trip. So a lot of traveling, a lot of hockey to be played in a very short span of time. These guys are going to be tested. I hope they're going to be able to stick around and keep up their pace of play. And as they get healthier, hopefully that will happen, guys. And the big question I've already said is, what are they going to do with Aleksander Barkov? A question that is not going to be answered, I think, until we approach probably the very end of April, beginning of March, as the trade deadline gets closer. How is he feeling? How is he going to do? Are we going to make a move, or are we just going to kind of say, let's let the season just go? If we're really out of it, they might just have to say, all right, let's just get healthy next year. Hey, we had a great 3-year run. We won 2 Stanley Cups out of 3 times at the finals. So anyways, I'm getting a little off topic, but I just want to bring that up because if we do make it to the playoffs, or we're creeping into that spot, a decision is going to have to be made. Because if you put him on LTIR and you got $10 million to use in Barkov's LTIR salary cap, you got to jump on it, or take him off LTIR and say he's going to come back and don't worry about it, and we'll find a place for him on the roster and make it work. But if you're like, hey, let's put him there, we got to get a player, guys. So as for tonight's game, we're going to make this very quick. Both teams are 3-2 in their last 5 games. Decent games for the Wild. They have been playing pretty solid. They're in the playoffs as things stand today. It's going to be a tough test for the Cats. You can see team stats here are in favor of the Minnesota Wild right now. They are the better team on paper. They've got a ton of power play goals, really solid on the power play. So our penalty kill has to be rock solid tonight if we're committing stupid penalties. I've already said we have to control neutral ice. We've got to be on our defensive toes, if you would say. Got to pinch in those corners, make sure we're not allowing the other team to set up, and no stupid giveaways. We cannot turn the puck over near the blue line in our offensive third and allow the other team to capitalize on those odd man rushes and those breakaways. All right. So goaltender comparison. I have no idea who's in net right now. I do apologize for that. Nothing's come out as of this moment, but we're going up against 2 very solid goaltenders in Gustafsson and Wallstedt. They're both very talented, having great seasons. I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know for both sides here. I would assume maybe we ride with Tarasov in the hot hand. Bob has been a little shaky as of late. Yes, he has. I will admit, yes. I still think he's having a great season regardless. The numbers are skewed based upon how he's actually played on the ice. But as far as I am believing in this team right now, I think they're going to pull out the W tonight. They know they need to get back in the win column and get some streaks going. Tkachuk knows it. This team knows it. Hopefully we do see Brad Marchand back. There has not been an update on him. So kind of the last piece of the puzzle before we head into the Olympic break is, can Brad Marchand return for us while we have, a handful of games left to play? It's a lot, though. I forgot here. It was how many games? 8 games in 13 days. So if he could play in at least 5 of those games and maybe we go on a win streak, we'll hold steady, come back, and hopefully pick up some big-time win streaks and make it into the playoffs. But we'll see what happens, guys. Anyways, enjoy your weekend. A lot of football on there. So enjoy. I will talk to you guys later. That's it for this episode. Keep your eyes peeled. I'll have another one coming out soon. I'll have another guest as well as doing a live episode as a game is happening. So stay tuned for when that is going to be posted. So thank you guys all again for your support. Comment, like, share, subscribe. Help me get to 4,000 subs. I appreciate all of you. Have a great Saturday. Go Cats.